The Phillies and the Rockies weren't supposed to be here. 3 weeks ago, the Phillies were on the outside looking in. But after a Mets collapse and a 13-4 run to close the season, Philadelphia is breathing new life as NL East champs. For the tenacious Rockies, it was a wild ride to the wild card. An aggressive stretch that forced San Diego into a one-game tiebreak. And quite literally, when the dust settled,
The throw to the plate, he is safe.
it was Colorado slamming the back door to the postseason. Today, the two hottest teams in baseball look to extend the dream. Game 1, Rockies, Phillies, next.
Welcome to the first ever postseason game from Citizens Bank Park, and welcome to Philadelphia. A rabid sports town that thirsts for a championship. Phillies fans are poised and ready for the postseason to begin. This National League Division Series on TBS is presented by Budweiser, the official beer of Major League Baseball. It's the Rockies and Phillies, Game 1 from Philadelphia. Hi, everybody. I'm Don Orsillo along with Joe Simpson, David Aldridge in a bit. The Phillies have not been to the postseason in 14 years. Of course, the last time, 1993 in the World Series. Charlie Manuel's gotten ready to go today.
These two teams are red hot, Don, no doubt about it, but the Phillies had to work just as hard as the Rockies to get here. They had to overcome a 7-game deficit in the last 17 games of the season. They went 13-4 over that period. This is a terrific offensive ball club. They led the National League in runs scored, second in homers, first in slugging percentage. Oh, by the way, they've got great speed. They also were second in the league in stolen bases. When they went on that tear, 13-4 over the last 17, they were averaging 6 runs per game. They hit 26 homers during that stretch, but you see the ERA. Charlie Manuel says the difference for them was good pitching down the stretch.
You know, the Colorado Rockies know it's not how you start, but it's how you finish. And they finished winning 14 of the last 15 games. And, of course, the dramatic come-from-behind win on Monday. They're a fired-up group.
How does it get any better than what happened Monday night in Coors Field? Great comeback in the bottom of the 13th, capped off by the sacrifice fly by Jamie Carroll that plated Matt Holliday. One writer in Denver said, how ironic that the greatest run scored in Colorado history was by a guy who never touched home plate. Well, maybe that was the case, but they're here. They're a fired-up bunch. They may be a little weary from all that work Monday, but they're ready to go.
It's the Rockies, it's the Phillies, and it's Game 1.
The MLB Division Series on TBS is presented by Budweiser. Reach for a Budweiser, the perfect balance of flavor and refreshment. Open up a world of taste. And brought to you in part by Holiday Inn, the official hotel of Major League Baseball. By Sonic, it's not just good, it's Sonic good. And by DHL, delivering America's pastime on time.
Welcome back to Philadelphia, where it is rocking this afternoon and comfortable conditions from Philadelphia. Cloudy, but 80 degrees. A light breeze blows out of the south, humidity at 60%. They expect much the same here tomorrow. The first 2 games of this series right here in Philadelphia. Let's check out the visiting starting 9 for the Colorado Rockies. Kaz Matsui at the top of the order again at second base. Troy Tulowitzki at shortstop. Matt Holliday in left field. Todd Helton at first base with Garrett Atkins at third base. Brad Hopp in right field. Ryan Spilborghs in center field. Yorvit Torrealba does the catching, bats 8th, and Jeff Francis, the pitcher, bats 9th. On the mound today for the Phillies, it's Cole Hamels.
And they will have their work cut out for them with this guy. As good as it gets in the National League from the left side. Cole Hamels outstanding this year with a 15-5 record. He's got 3+ pitches. A fastball in the low to mid 90s, an outstanding changeup, maybe one of the best changeups in baseball, and a good over-the-top curveball. He is unflappable, doesn't get nervous about anything, and he's got his work cut out for him too against this good Rockies lineup. He's never faced them before, but I think that's to his advantage.
Let's check out the Phillies defense in behind him, left to right across the outfield. It's Pat Burrell, Aaron Rowand, and Shane Victorino. Around the infield, third to first, Wes Helms, Jimmy Rollins, Chase Utley at second base, Ryan Howard at first. And it is Carlos Ruiz who is catching Cole Hamels today. Some question as to whether Ruiz was going to be able to do the catching today, as he was hit by a pitch in the final regular season game for the Phillies. And took some batting practice today and got ready and told Charlie Manuel he was ready. We are ready. As Kaz Matsui digs in on the right side to get it started. Well, the first pitch of the postseason is sent foul off to the right by Matsui, and we're underway.
This Rockies team, after their 13-inning win on Monday, did not arrive in Philadelphia until 8:30 yesterday morning. They did not work out. They chose to rest all day. Wise move.
They're as geared up as you possibly could be after that victory, and you might imagine why, with the way that they won on Monday night and the chance to advance.
Especially when it looked like they were going home or staying home after Hairston hit the 2-run homer.
Matsui taking the strike. And it was down 1-2.
Cole Hamels, last start as good as he's had all year against Washington last Friday. 8 innings, a 6-hit shutout ball, walked 1 and struck out 13. At one point he had retired 19 out of 22.
Matsui fouls off another. Of course, Cole Hamels missed a month with a strained elbow. The Phillies were certainly very careful with him. He's their pitcher of the future. He's their pitcher right now, going here in game 1, and a guy that they were not going to take any chances with after the injury. Matsui on a hop to Rollins at short. 1 down. Well, a full contingent of umpires down the lines as well in this game 1. Dale Scott, his 21st year, has the plate. Jim Reynolds at first base, Chuck Merriweather at second, and Jeff Kellogg, the umpire, at third base. Down the lines, Darryl Cousins in his 28th year of Major League service down the left field line, and Ed Hickox down the right field line. So 1 down here in the top half of the first inning, and it brings up Troy Tulowitzki. Part of this very good offensive Colorado Rockies squad. As Tulowitzki takes strike 1.
There's that good curveball. He'll throw that early in the count just to give you something else to think about. But it's his fastball and his changeup that are primarily his put-away pitches. Charlie Manuel had an interesting take on Hamels' stint on the DL. He talked about how Hamels is not used to pitching in September, and maybe he was a little more of a dead arm as opposed to really an elbow strain, and it's really freshened him up. Took him about 3 starts to get back on the beam before his last start, but he's ready today.
This is sent down the left field line, and a foul ball back into the seats. You never want your best pitcher to have an injury during the season, but as it works out, as you mentioned, that month off may have made him more fresh for this situation here down the stretch.
I think it did. He's a guy who suffered a broken arm pitching in high school, an upper arm break throwing a pitch, and bounced back from that. He's a slender guy, 6'3", listed at 190, but not a big frame.
Ahead of Tulowitzki, 1-2. And missing away to even the count now, 2-2. Well, the Rockies enter this afternoon's game having played just 4 postseason games in their brief history of their franchise. A 13-inning 9-8 win over the Padres, their first victory in franchise history to overcome a deficit of more than 2 runs in extra innings. And an incredible victory. They may be tired, but the adrenaline taking over here at this part of the year.
No question. This is a huge game here too. Game 1 on the road against the opponent's ace. You pick up a win here, you're in the driver's seat for the series.
This is the way Hamels appeared to be frustrated with himself as he misses for ball 3.
Well, he hasn't walked too many guys this year. A total of 43 in 183 innings, but lately he's walked just 14 guys in his last 11 starts.
Tulowitzki strikes out. First K of the day for Hamels. He took something off.
There's a changeup. Big arm action, high leg kick. We'll follow it on pitch tracks here. Outstanding delivery on the changeup, and that's a beauty. And that's what the Rockies will have to contend with all day. It's a pitch that from a guy that they haven't seen before, and it may take a whole trip through the batting order, or maybe two, before they figure it out.
Here's Matt Holliday. What a way to wrap up the regular season for him. National League batting champion that went right down to that last day as he finished the year hitting at .340. Well, the 36 home runs, 137 runs batted in. And he is quickly in the hole, nothing in two.
He's sporting a nice skid mark there on his chin, too, from that no-wheel landing that he made at home plate on Monday night.
Holliday fouls it off to the right and hangs it 0-2.
Matt Holliday very solid to all parts of the ballpark. He's not just a dead pull hitter despite his great power numbers. He led the league in hitting because he hits the ball where it's pitched and hits it hard.
Driving in runs too, 27 RBIs in the last 20 games. The 0-2. Slowly grounded down the first baseline as Howard picks it and applies the tag on the way by. Rockies down in order. Phillies coming up. These are down in order. The Phillies coming up. Let's check out their starting lineup. Led off by what might be the most valuable player in the National League, Jimmy Rollins at shortstop, Shane Victorino in right, Chase Utley at second base, Ryan Howard at first base with Aaron Rowand in center field, Pat Burrell in left. Wes Helms at third base gets the start, batting seventh. Carlos Ruiz does the catching. He bats eighth. Cole Hamels on the mound, batting ninth. On the mound today for the Colorado Rockies is Jeff Francis.
He had a big year, 17-9. He's 26 years old, 6'5", 205 out of Vancouver, British Columbia. Low 90s fastball for him with a good over-the-top curve. He's got to hold these runners close for the Philadelphia Phillies because they like to run, and he's got to rebound from a rough start against the Phillies here in this ballpark on September 13th. His shortest start ever, 3 1/3 innings, 8 hits, 8 runs. So he's going to need to get some confidence early against this good lineup.
Wonder about what lasting effects that will have coming into today. As Jimmy Rollins gets himself settled in, the MVP chants all over Citizens Bank Park.
If there are some lasting effects from it, he'll probably try to pick around the plate, might walk some guys as a result.
Saw the numbers for Jimmy Rollins in an incredible season. He holds a National League record for most extra base hits in a season by a shortstop with 88. And his second all-time, only behind A-Rod, who had 91 back in 1996. He was the guy that in spring training said the Phillies would end up on top in the National League East, and they did just that. And it took some doing to get it done, but in the end they got it done. A very confident young man, and he's got reason to be.
And boy, you do not want to do this. Run the risk of walking anybody at the top of this order. Everybody can run.
There's a strike as we had the chance to sit down with Clint Hurdle before the game, and I would say that is the #1 concern for Clint Hurdle and the Rockies is the Phillies' ability to run, and the speed that they have, it's certainly a problem.
And his point was, when I asked him about the lefties being on the mound the first 2 starts, he said, yeah, we'll have to hold them close, but the primary concern will be to keep them off base. So they want to make sure Rollins and Victorino especially put the ball in play, no walks.
Comes back to strike out Rollins. So a nice comeback by Jeff Francis.
Good pitch.
Let's check out the best defense in the majors and certainly in the National League. It's Matt Holliday left to right in the outfield. Ryan Spilborgh's in center field. Brad Hopp in right. Around the infield, Garrett Atkins at third base. Troy Tulowitzki at shortstop. Kaz Matsui at second. And Todd Helton at first. The battery of Yorvit Torrealba. Jeff Francis on the mound. There's Shane Victorino with 1 out here in the first.
Yorvit Torrealba, the only position player on the field for the Rockies that has any postseason experience, and that's just 2 games. First time around for everybody else.
We could make the argument that they've been playing playoff games now for the last 2 weeks leading to the end of the season.
They've handled that pressure quite nicely.
Victorino down on strikes, and the tag applied by Torrealba. Back-to-back strikeouts for Jeff Francis to start his outing.
On breaking balls and both swinging. Let's check it out and then check out the location of this pitch. He got ahead of Victorino. There's a curved ball, bounced off the plate, nowhere near the plate, but Victorino chased. Nice recovery from a 3-0 count to Rollins.
So 2 down here in the last half of the first inning, and here's Chase Utley. Utley having a fantastic season as well, a .332 batting average during the regular season. The company of the 22 homers and 103 runs batted in.
And missed a month with an injured wrist. And you've got 2 left-handed hitters, straight left-handed hitters in the 3 and 4 spot for the Phillies. But Utley hit .318 against left-handed pitching this year. He doesn't mind lefties at all. Ryan Howard's numbers not quite as good, a .225 average. But for Utley, doesn't matter, bringing lefties on.
Swing and a miss, and Jeff Francis impressively strikes out the side in order in the first inning. Done with 1, no score. Scoreless as we head to the second. MLB postseason and Espanol live MLB postseason Spanish language feed available via SAP. Well, it's the second inning back in Philadelphia, and it's Todd Helton who leads it off. Not after that first pitch, sends one out towards deep center field. Aaron Rowan back onto the track, and it's off the wall. The nasty ricochet is by him and backed up by Victorino as Helton's taking 3. Here comes the throw, and it's off the mark. A triple for Todd Helton to open up the second inning.
He waited 10 years to get to the postseason, and he couldn't wait for a second pitch, so he jumped on the first one. Fastball up about belt high, almost hit it out of the park. Rowan chased it all the way to the wall and then needed help from Victorino to track it down, but an easy triple for Helton, and the Rockies are in business. And an early run would be huge for them to help their hitters relax against this tough lefty.
Well, 2 triples during the regular season for Helton. He's got one here in the postseason as he stands 90 feet away. Garrett Atkins, the batter. A 300 hitter in this Rockies order. Atkins at 301 coming in as a great regular season form. 25 home runs, 111 runs batted in.
He had 3 hits Monday night.
In the last 5 regular season games, he was 12 for 18 at .667, a big part of their end of the season run, which was truly remarkable. Well, the outside corner for strike 2.
Right now, the hitter's best friend, some cloud cover, taking away any shadows when the sun is out. There's a shadow right down the third baseline that will slowly creep across the diamond.
Carves it foul off to the right and hangs it 2-2. Very impressive first inning for Jeff Francis. We wondered about what his mindset would be like after being hit by these Phillies pretty hard. He comes in and has a 1-2-3 first 3 strikeouts.
Yeah, he went through 3 balls. First 3 he fired up there, and then 9 straight strikes.
Line to left field for Garrett Atkins. It's a fair ball to the corner. Jogging home from third base is Todd Helton to put the Rockies on top 1-0. Atkins driving in the run, and the Rockies strike first.
He fought off a couple of pitches, fell behind in the count, but that curveball stayed up. A mistake, a second mistake here from Hamels. You can see him barking at himself as that pitch was being hit into left field, but a good swing by Atkins on a mistake pitch by Hamels.
Well, Brad Hopp, who takes the strike at a notion but did not pull the trigger.
You figured this to be a high-scoring series, Don. Both teams tied for the league lead in on-base percentage, first and second in runs scored, and playing in 2 home-run-friendly parks.
Swing and a miss, and he is quickly down 0-2.
More home runs hit here at Citizens Bank Park than any other ballpark in the majors.
This is up top, and it's 1-2.
Hopp at one point this season got benched and was being pinch hit for against left-handed pitchers, but lately he's done the job, and that's why he's in there today. He's been swinging well against him.
Well, some tough decisions for both managers, of course. When we last were with you on Monday night, they had their full contingent and their large roster to use. Had to narrow it down in some very tough decisions
for both guys. One of the things Hopp can do here, though, against the left-handed pitcher, even though he's got a battle on his hands, is make a good out by getting that runner over from second base and set up Spilborghs for the RBI.
Hopp struggled with his power numbers at the beginning of the season, but ended up over 100 RBIs. Swings and misses. Hamels gets him. Second strikeout for Cole Hamels, and the first out of the inning.
91 fastball up and in, tied him up. Couldn't get the barrel of the bat out there. Well located fastball for the strikeout.
So 1 down. Garrett Atkins still at second base, and here's Ryan Spilborghs in center field. One of the decisions that Clint Hurdle had to make was in regards to Willie Tavares, who had been the leadoff hitter and center fielder for the Rockies and was just not ready. There was no way that they could put him into this series. May see him again at some point later on if the Rockies do advance, but they're headed right now with him down to instructional league.
And they're hoping he'll be able to bounce back, but they're not quite sure it'll even happen if they advance.
You know, Spilborghs was one of the guys that wanted to face the Phillies. They faced him a couple of times. He has the confidence to be able to beat them.
Well, a little bulletin board material for the Phillies. Rockies did win the season series 4-3.
Something you certainly try to stay away from at this time of year.
And odd coming from a guy who's not really an everyday guy.
Caught fire in the middle of the season, raising his average from 273 to 343 between June 22nd and August 7th. Pulled off since, but Tavares, of course, with that quad injury, forcing Spilborghs into the lineup on a nightly basis. And a 4-pitch walk, and the first base on balls given up by Cole Hamels.
And he was not pitching around him. He was not happy with that. So maybe the nerves getting to Cole a little bit here in the early going. Had a good first inning, but the first pitch triple on a belt-high fastball put him in a jam. Todd Helton, the veteran, the longtime veteran of this Rockies team, has suffered through some tough times, but boy, he didn't waste any time in his first at bat in the postseason with a triple.
Comes around to score the game's first run. Jorvit Torrealba, who homered in the tiebreaker game on Monday, takes the first pitch strike from Hamels.
Grounded in a 19 double plays this year. Only Holiday hit into more for this ball club, and that's what Hamels would like to get here.
Into center field, a base hit for Torrealba. Atkins being waved around. No throw from Rowan. And the second Rockies run in. They lead it 2-0. Jorvit Torrealba drives in the second Colorado run.
Torrealba kind of gets hidden in all the forest of good hitters on this ball club, but he gets some key hits for him. Had a big home run for Colorado on Monday night, and here fights off a fastball and serves it into center field. Hit it in the right spot. Not a bad pitch by Hamels, other than the fact it was up a little bit and allowed Torrealba to fight it off. But Jorvik gets some key hits for these guys.
So 2 in here to quiet the Citizens Bank Park crowd significantly. And here's Jeff Francis, the pitcher. Squares and takes strike 1 from Cole Hamels.
He tied for their team lead in sacrifices with 13.
That was the 20th pitch of the inning for Cole Hamels. He's up to 36 now in his outing after 16 pitches in the first. The bunt is a foul ball. Ruiz grabbing it, and the indication from Dale Scott right away. We talked about all that the Rockies had to do to get here. The Phillies reaching first place for the first time on September 27th. They had a total of 5 days with at least a share at first place. The second lowest by any team ever to win its league or division.
Yeah, how about that?
Incredible run.
Better late than never.
The bunt with 2 strikes and it's down as Hamels off the mound spins and fires for the out. The sacrifice 1-4 with the out at first base and on to second and third. Spielborgs to third and Torrealba to second.
Another case of a good out. Obvious bunt situation with 1 out to try to get a couple of guys into scoring position for your leadoff man. And if Kaz Matsui can come through here, that is a big inning of 4-spot off Cole Hamels. Doesn't happen very often.
Well, Matsui first time up, grounded out to shortstop. He takes ball 1 as he was showing bunt, grabbing the attention of Wes Helms at third base.
Anything to put a little pressure on the defense. This Rockies team, the best defensive club in all the major leagues. Rockies infielders all very good too. Solid in their own right.
Well, Matsui had a tough time in New York, has really found a home in Colorado.
He battled some injuries too during the year, but once he came back and solidified their up the middle defense, this team began to take off.
They had 2-0. It's ball 3 and it's 3-0.
Rockies hitters very patient. They're laying off the changeup since the first inning. Beginning this inning, everybody trying to make Hamels get the ball up, and they're taking advantage when he does.
A strike, and it's 3-1 now to Matsui. Todd Helton got it all started with a triple to begin things here in the second inning. Well, Matsui with a swing and a miss, and it's a full count.
Rockies don't have as much team speed as the Phillies, but Matsui provides most of it. 24 infield hits and 32 stolen bases. He puts it in play on the ground. You can't mess around.
Payoff pitch. Cleared foul off to the right. We'll do it again. 28 pitches in the inning for Hamels as that pitch count grows.
Deep counts, and couldn't put away a couple of guys when he got ahead in the count, like Atkins.
In the dirt, and he walks Matsui, so down to first base to load the bases. That is the second walk given up by Hamels in the inning.
Rich Doobie, the pitching coach, will come out and try to help Hamels regroup.
You know the guy who does that killer John Madden impersonation on NFL Sunday? His name is Frank Caliendo, and he has a new show that will literally change the face of late night. See the all-new comedy Frank TV coming November 20th to TBS.
An odd situation for Cole Hamels. 2 already in, bases loaded. There was a game he started back in August against the Braves, Don, where he gave up 4 runs in the first inning. That never happens to him. But his teammates came right back in the bottom of the inning and scored 4 for him to take him off the hook. And he pitched a great ball game after that, went on to pitch 7 innings and won the game 5-4. He knows he's got a terrific lineup, but right now he's got to do some damage control and get out of this inning with only 2 on the board.
It was a very good regular season, again missing a month with a strained elbow, and still able to post 15 victories on the season. There's Troy Tulowitzki with the bases loaded. The first pitch strike from Hamels. 99 RBIs during the regular season for Tulowitzki.
He had 4 hits Monday night, including a big double in the 13th.
Down on the count, 0-2. "13 strikeouts last time out for Cole Hamels." The Philly faithful hoping that he grabs one here in a bases loaded situation with 2 down.
Oh, and crossed up Ruiz big time. Ruiz was looking for a fastball and somehow still caught the curveball. Watch him start to come up out of his crouch. He wanted a high fastball here to see if Tulowitzki would chase it, and got a breaking ball instead and almost hit him instead of catching it. They have a little chat to make sure that doesn't happen again.
In tight. And it's 2-2 now to Tulowitzki. Charlie Manuel hitting on Dale Scott a little bit. Home plate umpire today.
Dale's a good ball and strike man. Looked like it was inside.
And then again, and now it'll run full. Runners will be off with 2 down, and they got the bases loaded. Spilborgh's at third, Torrealba at second, Matsui at first.
Dangerous part of the lineup to be in this spot where you have to throw a strike. Run producers have been big for here.
Held up, and it's ball 4 to walk in a run. Hamels has walked 3 in the inning, and from third base scoring is Spilborghs to put the Rockies on top 3-0. Back-to-back walks here for Hamels.
That's incredible. He hasn't walked as many as 3 men in a game since June 29th against the Mets, when he walked 5. No more than 2 in any other game since then, let alone 3.
Drive down the left field line, deep and far. It is curling, and a foul ball. Had the distance. The only question was fair or foul. Matt Holliday making a bid.
Fair or foul, and wondering if it would get to the parking lot. He got all of this one. This one was high over the foul pole, but went out of the park foul.
Holliday, the 9th member of the Rockies to bat here in the top of the second. Oh, swing and a miss.
As we saw Monday night, Holliday with a lot of power the other way too, tripling off the right field wall at Coors Field. Behind in the count, he may be trying to go that way.
38th pitch of the inning for Cole Hamels. And it's off the plate, 1-2. And Holliday driving in a couple of runs on Monday night. Past Ryan Howard, the National League leader in RBIs. Torrealba at third, Matsui at second, Tulowitzki at first. Held on to by Ruiz. For Dale Scott, take an extra look, but he calls it ball 2.
That was close. A little bit low. Like it might have had the plate. A little too low for Dale Scott.
Gets him. Holiday strikes out with the damage done in the inning. The Rockies score 3 times, take a 3-0 advantage.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Office of the Commissioner of Baseball and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without express written consent.
I'm David Aldridge, and here in Philadelphia, it's been 24 years since a pro sports team won a championship. It's a burden that every professional athlete has felt in this town from a generation. Allen Iverson, Eric Lindros, Donovan McNabb, and Jimmy Rollins feels it too. He says from the minute he was drafted here in 1996, he has felt that pressure. When he first got here, he said this organization was used to losing and expected to lose. He says we were born to this. We were born into all the agony, all the 10,000 losses, whether we want to or not, guys.
David, thanks so much. As Ryan Howard starts the bottom of the second inning, 10,000 losses. And a look at the Philly futility and what has been tough for all 4 teams here in Philadelphia. And you could feel it. Really, we arrived here yesterday, taking advantage of the travel day to get here. And this town is fired up.
They are. They had a rally Monday. A lot of fans turned out for that. But David's right. The mindset had to be changed on this ball club. And leaders like Jimmy Rollins and Chase Utley and now Ryan Howard have taken that up to get it turned around.
Ryan Howard, who started the season off slowly, battled some left quadricep problems. Well, you know about all the home run numbers for him, 47 on the year. The thing that surprised me most, the tremendous power that he has to the opposite field.
I'm not sure they called Ryan when they were drawing up the blueprints for this ballpark, but they might as well have, because it is perfect for him with the short distances to straightaway left and right.
Well, Francis, who struck out the side in the first. There's a full count here to Ryan Howard, who fouls one off.
Francis has been outstanding in day games this year. He went 8-0 in 9 starts with an ERA about 2.5.
Winningest left-hander in the National League over the last 2 seasons, 30 and 20 combined.
Pretty good fastball there to come in on his hands and tie him up, keep him from getting those big strong arms extended.
Howard, then Rowan, and Burrell expected here in the bottom of the second. And then he strikes out Howard. What about the start for Jeff Francis, who has struck out the first 4 Phillies he faces on the afternoon?
All swinging too, Don. Off-speed pitch there, breaking ball to Rollins. Got Utley, or excuse me, Victorino to chase a bad ball. Utley, the big curveball, came up empty, and Howard just now the same thing.
So 1 down here in the second inning, and it brings up Aaron Rowan.
I've always felt the Phillies were a good fastball hitting team, beginning with Jimmy Rollins, a good first pitch fastball hitter. And that could be part of Francis's design today. A lot of off-speed stuff.
And with a swing and a miss.
That shadow beginning to become an issue too. The hitter is in a shadow. The pitcher, at least the pitching mound, is in sunlight. Tough to pick the ball up out of his hand going right into that shadow. Last inning was a little overcast. You didn't have the shadow when the Rockies were hitting.
Rowan's certainly known for his grit. Phillies fans and baseball fans remember him running and making the over-the-shoulder catch in center field and running into that fencing area back by the 401 marker here at Citizens Bank Park, breaking his nose and forced to miss significant playing time while he recovered from what was a vicious injury.
Lays it all out there, puts his body on the line to do anything. Base running, defense, doesn't matter. Right now I think the Phillies would just like to put one in play and see if the Colorado defense is as good as everybody says it is.
There's been no contact so far, as Francis has struck out the first 4 batters that he has faced. Mention lasting only 3 1/3 in a loss here at Citizens Bank on September 13th, equaling the earliest knockout in his 106 career starts. No lingering effects as they make contact, but it's at the shortstop Tulowitzki, and there's 2 down.
Rockies set a record this year for team defense, breaking the record held or set by the Red Sox last year. This team absolutely brilliant, especially on the infield.
We had the chance to talk to Clint Hurdle about just that before the game on Monday night, and it is an approach that they started really last year in spring training and have taken extremely seriously, to the point it's a major league record. As big swing and a miss for Pat Burrell. Here are the numbers.
Again, breaking the record the Red Sox set last year. 99 Mets also with good numbers. They only made 67 errors. Baltimore was the next lowest in Major League Baseball with 79.
Gold Glove first baseman Todd Helton leading the charge in the defensive regard, as Pat Burrell bats here with 2 outs, bases empty.
It's funny, Pat Burrell, everybody was singing his praises because of the great second half he had, and you just saw his numbers: 256 average, 30 homers, 97 RBIs. Well, that's 1 more homer and 2 more RBIs than he had last year when they thought he was done, and we were just ripping on him. But I think it's how he arrived at those numbers this year with his good finish that has everybody praising how much he helped the team down the stretch.
One of the things he was able to do this year, only 114 walks this season, but has as few as 120 strikeouts to go along with them. And nearly a 1-to-1 ratio as this pitch is a ball. Walks was a career high, the strikeouts a career low. Again, 114 walks, 120 strikeouts. One of the quietest 30 home runs, 97 RBI seasons in the majors. Fouls it down the right field line, out of play.
He's always been aggressive at the plate, especially against right-handers. He will chase sliders that are off the plate, but not so much against left-handers. When he can sit back and wait for that slider to come to him, it's a little different story. Not as prone to chase.
Talked about the walks, and he grabs one here with 2 outs in the second inning. First base runner for the Phillies.
Phillies have had a rotation at third base that started with Wes Helms. He signed as a free agent in the offseason after having a good second half last year in Florida, but Wes lost the job, and then it became a rotation between Helms and Abraham Nunez and Greg Dobbs. But Wes is in there today primarily because in his career, 6 for 9 against Francis, 4 doubles and a homer. Charlie Manuel's hoping he has a hot hand again today against this left-hander.
Helms takes strike 1 from Francis. A .271 hitter in his career against Colorado with 4 home runs. And a total of 65 starts during the regular season, and 53 of them at third base, part of that rotation.
Here are those numbers against Francis. Primarily a pull hitter. You just saw him chase an off-speed pitch, and now he'll have to shorten up a little bit behind 0-2.
Well, 2 strikes to Helms. Carlos Ruiz waits on deck. Jeff Francis, career best this season in ERA, wins, starts, innings, strikeouts. And fell 1 win shy of the Rockies' single season record for wins. And 3 different starts to try to get that record, but could not get the elusive 18th win. Popped up. Matsui into short right. Puts it away, and the Phillies are gone in the second. We've played 2. Rockies on top 3-0. This National League Division Series on TBS is presented by Budweiser, official beer of Major League Baseball. It's a 3-0 Rockies lead. Glad you joined us. Our coverage on TBS, and boy did it start off with a bang on Monday night. And the tiebreaker to decide the wild card winner. That winner, the Colorado Rockies, here and off to the fast start on top of the Phillies, 3-0. As we move to the top half of the third inning. Bud Helton, who tripled to begin last inning, an inning in which the Rockies sent 9 men to the plate in the inning and scored 3 times. A lot of pitches for Cole Hamels.
See how much he struggled with his control too. It included 3 walks in the second inning. This series figures to be high scoring because 3 of the top 8 hitters in the National League average-wise are in this series, including Helton. 5 of the top 20 home run hitters, 7 of the top 20 RBI guys. Loaded with offense, both lineups. Again, you can see Hamels in bright sunshine and a lot of shadows in between Hamels and the hitter.
Helton lifts the fly ball out towards center field. Aaron Rowan settles underneath and makes the catch for the first out of the inning. Talking about the shadows, let's check back in with David Aldridge.
Well, guys, it's ironic you mentioned the high scoring possibility here, because Aaron Rowan actually thought this might be a lower scoring series because 2 games are being played in the twilight. He said you pray that you don't get the 3 o'clock game when the playoffs start, and here we are with 2 of them. And the Phillies hitting coach Milt Thompson said he expected to see a lot of late swings today because of the good off-speed stuff from a guy like Jeff Francis.
David, 1 down here in the third inning.
Yeah, the hitter's worst nightmare are these late afternoon starts in the shadows.
Hamels jumping ahead, 0-2 of Garrett Atkins. He's able to double to drive in the game's first run in the second inning. Crowd wanted it as it misses inside to Atkins.
He's just missed a little bit on the inside corner to right-handed hitters, trying to bury that fastball in there and not getting a call yet from Dale Scott.
Well, the Rockies' Garrett Atkins and the Phillies' Chase Utley were teammates at UCLA from 1998 through 2000. Both players were 3-time All-Americans for UCLA. Atkins and Utley are 2 of 4 Bruins playing in the 2007 postseason. Joined Eric Burns of Arizona and Ben Francisco of Cleveland. They're the others. Hamels picks up his 4th strikeout. Atkins.
This guy Atkins, it doesn't strike out very much either. As you check out the location here on Pitch Tracks, good pitch out on the outside part. Atkins this year a career high in strikeouts, 96 for a guy with his power and RBI numbers. Very low strikeout totals.
2 down for Brad Hopp, who struck out swinging first time up. Great story. Atkins and Utley, 2 very good friends who go head to head in this division series. Fouls it off to the left.
These 2 teams right now very similar in how they've developed their ball club and put it together. The Phillies with 6 starters, including Cole Hamels, that were homegrown products, and the Rockies have 7.
The 1-2 pitch outside to Hopp, and it's 2-2.
Needs to put him away here and have a good inning. Nice 1-2-3 inning, get his offense back up there.
Hopp drives it out towards center field. Rowan running back and over to make the catch into right center. It's a 1-2-3 third for Cole Hamels, but it's a 3-0 Rockies lead. It's 3-0. Rockies on top, and it's time now for the Sonic Game Day trivia question. And the question is, who are the only players since 1949 to lead the National League in batting average and an RBI in the same season?
It's a small list.
5 guys on that list. Carlos Ruiz leads it off here in the bottom of the 3rd inning. The Phillies have yet to get it out of the infield. And still looking for their first hit, as Ruiz takes strike 1.
Wearing that protective guard on his left elbow where he got plunked Sunday.
As a result, Charlie Manuel and the Phillies going with 3 catchers in this first round of the postseason. We're unsure. He worked out this morning. It's the non-throwing arm, at least, but still a problem.
It's a good difference between Francis's fastball and changeup, about 92 to 75. Get some good sinking action on it too from that arm angle.
Carlos Ruiz kind of taking the job from Rod Barajas in April. And he strikes out this time, and that's already 5 Ks for Jeff Francis.
Ruiz knew it. He was already walking. Well, I guess he would know it, right down Broadway. Or in Philadelphia it would be Broad Street.
1 down here in the last half of the 3rd inning, and here's the pitcher Cole Hamels. Swing and a miss at the first pitch. 141 regular season batting average for the Phillies pitcher.
When Francis was taken in the first round back in '02 by Colorado, there was talk that they were actually trying to make a pre-draft deal with Denard Span from Tampa Catholic High School. But Span and his agent turned down what the Rockies were offering, and they selected Jeff Francis, and they're very happy they did. Span playing in the minor leagues with Minnesota.
Softly lined into left field, a base hit. It's the pitcher Cole Hamels who provides the first hit of the day for the Phillies.
Were you surprised?
A little bit.
Fought off a fastball, and everybody's got to take a little heart in this if you're in the Phillies dugout. Somebody actually reached on a base hit against the guy. And as we said Monday night, any base runner's a rally in the postseason, no matter who it is.
Jimmy Rollins bats with 1 out. Hamels at first. Rollins takes strike 1 from Francis.
Another good changeup early in the count. They know that Jimmy Rollins is a good first pitch fastball hitter. And 2 off-speed pitches to start him, his 2 at bats.
Struck out in the first inning. It started a stretch of 4 in a row for Jeff Francis, and the fast start for the Rockies left-hander. To third. Atkins will try to start it to second for 1, on to first. They turn it. It's around the horn, and it's inning ending. We have played 3 from Philadelphia. It's the Rockies 3, the Phillies nothing.
The MLB Division Series on TBS is brought to you by FakeChecks.org. Learn all about fake check scams like the foreign lottery scam at FakeCheck.org. And by Levi's Original.
Top half of the 4th inning. It's the bottom 3rd of the Rockies order expected to face Cole Hamels, Spilborgh's Torrealba, and the pitcher Francis. 1-2-3 3rd inning for Cole Hamels, who certainly needed that. Spilborgh's walking his first time up.
He has set down the last 4 in a row since a walk to Tulowitzki in the 2nd inning. And that's what he needs to do, is get back on track and just throw some zeros up there against the Rockies to give his teammates a chance to catch up. And that does not appear like it's going to be easy the way Francis is pitching.
It's amazing for Hamels. He did allow 25 home runs this season, but only 4 with runners on base. Billboard strikes out. Rich Dubé, the pitching coach, joins us. And Rich, so far a tough time for Cole Hamels as far as the pitch count goes, up to 71 pitches so far. You're concerned so far?
Well, the second inning he threw a lot of pitches, but last inning looked like he lost some of his energy and he settled into a better rhythm, and it went a little bit easier for him. So hopefully he'll stay there.
Do you think it was mostly that he was a little hyped up there at the beginning?
Well, it's part of a little being hyped up, and also he's coming off a big workload for him. He pitched a big game for us when he threw 116 pitches and hadn't been that far in a long time. So hopefully, again, the energy's out of him and he can settle in and establish a pretty good tempo and rhythm for himself.
Rich, thanks so much.
All right, thanks.
Rich Dubé, the pitching coach for the Phillies under Charlie Manuel, and has enjoyed the work with Cole Hamels all season long, to the tune of a 15-5 record coming in. The pitch count has really got to be a concern here, Joe, so far. I mean, he's retired 5 in a row and now is in a bit of a groove, but starting the inning having thrown 71 through the first 3.
Now up to 77, but isn't it interesting that he says the energy's out of him now, meaning he's not overthrowing. He's getting better movement on his fastball, better location with the change.
Torrealba with a single and an RBI in the second inning. All the runs coming in that second inning off Hamels. Back to Hamels and picked nicely. Right back where it came from, and he's able to make the grab for the second out.
Had to defend himself a little bit. Hit this off the end of the bat a little bit, did Torrealba, that gave Cole a chance to react to it. Squares up nicely to home plate, though, to field his position. Might have saved a hit. Certainly saved himself from being hit.
So down Jeff Francis at a sacrifice bunt, his first time up in the second inning. The Rockies have been to the postseason once in their 15-year history, getting ousted by the Braves in the 1995 Division Series.
And when Rich Dubé's talking about Cole Hamels' energy, how can, even though he's supposed to be unflappable and a very calm sort, how can you not be excited as a 23-year-old in this city?
This one off his legs, much sharply hit and fired to first. He stayed with it to be able to get Francis. Went right back into the shin area and appeared, knocked it down, and it's a 1-2-3 fourth, but a 3-0 Rockies lead. Rockies on top 3-0. Aerial coverage is provided to you by Goodyear. Get home in comfort with Goodyear Silent Armor technology.
Cole Hamels caught one in the glove. It looks like he caught one in the shin, too. Knocked this one down off his counterpart, Jeff Francis, but recovered to make the play. See if we can tell exactly where it got him. Look, the left knee. But a nice recovery, so we'll check him out next inning, make sure he's all right.
With more on Cole Hamels, let's send it down to David Aldridge.
Well, guys, Cole Hamels walking around in the Phillies bullpen. He looks like he's okay right now, trying to walk that off. By contrast, you talked to Rich Dubé about the nerves that he might have been having, the energy. And Jeff Francis said yesterday that he knows the postseason is different. He knows his heart rate, for example, is going to be a little higher earlier in the game, and that he doesn't want to get phased by that and wants to be ready to pitch. He spent all last night visualizing making his pitches, and so far he's done a great job, guys.
Well, the visualization has been incredible so far for him. I wonder if he visualized striking out the first 4 batters he'd face.
Well, there's something to that. I mean, the first 3 pitches were nowhere close to Rollins, and then maybe a deep breath, and he recovered. Didn't throw another ball the rest of the first inning.
Well, Shane Victorino gets it started here in the bottom of the 4th inning for the Phils, as Victorino struck out swinging in the first inning.
He's also getting ahead in the count. 8 out of 11 batters first pitch strikes.
Sharply hit on a hop to Atkins, who is astride in on the grass and picks it for the out. Joined now by the manager of the Colorado Rockies, Clint Hurdle. And Clint, we wondered if there'd be any lasting effects for Jeff Francis after the tough outing he had here earlier this year. I guess the answer is no after a fantastic start.
No, he's got off to a real good start. As we know with Jeff, he can keep the ball down, he can get his fastball glove side, arm side, and mixing his off-speed pitches. He's very effective.
But you jump out to an early lead too. That's got to help your ball club coming off that high from Monday night, jumping out early on the road.
Oh, there's no doubt about it. You know, I don't think we're ever going to take the crowd out of it here, but it's good to score some runs, and we had some pretty disciplined at bats in there that helped, and a couple big swings of the bat.
Thanks so much.
You're welcome.
Well, Clint Hurdle, who has orchestrated this incredible run for the Rockies, winners of 14 of 15 to get here. That's some late inning drama along the way, but it has been an incredible run for a young group of guys that you can tell he enjoys being around on a daily basis.
And he had an interesting story Monday when he was talking about their good defense. And we just saw Atkins make a brilliant play at third when he's playing in on the grass. He said it started in spring training of '06, where they really started emphasizing defense. And another good hook for a strikeout by Francis. But he said, I told the guys I don't even want to see the ball on the ground anywhere. Whether you're throwing it around in the infield, where the outfielders are throwing it in after a fly ball, I don't want to see the ball on the ground. And he said they kind of took it up from there and really improved.
It has become a source of pride when you in the major league record as far as fielding percentage goes. You have really accomplished something, and they have done that all year and taking great pride in defense first. Ryan Howard struck out swinging first time up after the breaking ball, tips it foul. It's now 6 strikeouts in the game for Jeff Francis, with 2 outs here in the bottom of the 4th.
The season high was 10. Came late in the year, September 18th against the Dodgers.
Back over the course of the season for Jeff Francis, and his best was May and June, where he posted a 7-2 record with a 2.51 earned run average.
This is 6 0-2 counts. He is dealing, and he's making them go after his pitch.
Howard does not chase this time. It's a ball and 2 strikes.
Funny, but the only loss during this good run the Rockies have been on, 14 out of 15, was a game he pitched against Arizona on the 28th.
Strikes out Ryan Howard. It is 7 strikeouts for Jeff Francis, who's dealing through the first 4. Rockies 3, Phillies nothing.
The MLB Division Series on TBS is brought to you by Chevy, an American Revolution.
Popped up in foul ground as over to play it with little room for error. Carlos Ruiz pulls it in by the on deck circle and the Rockies dugout for out number 1. Well, it's time now for the answer to today's Sonic Trivia question. We're the only player since 1949 to lead the National League in batting average and an RBI in the same season. Well, the answer: Tommy Davis, the Dodgers in '62, Joe Torre in St. Louis in '71, Al Oliver with Montreal in '82, Todd Helton and Matt Holliday. Helton did it in 2000 with the Rockies. Holliday doing it this season for the Rockies. Fans, go to TBS Hot Corner and MLB.com to play more Sonic Game Day trivia powered by Nano Gaming. One down here in the top half of the 5th inning. Troy Tulowitzki on the ground. Rollins on to first, and there's 2 down.
Kind of interesting to watch Tulowitzki's reaction on that pop foul. Ruiz had to chase it right over virtually into the on deck circle, but Tulowitzki was not going to get out of his way and could have caused some interference there if Ruiz had had a problem.
Kind of stood his ground in the on deck circle.
Check it out here. Tulowitzki's watching the ball, but okay, if you have to catch it.
Holiday fouling it down by the shoe tops. 9 in a row now retired by Cole Hamels, who is definitely in the groove now.
He had a perfect first, third, and fourth inning. His problem all bundled into the second inning.
Diving at third as Helms picks himself up in the throw in time. We talked about the Rockies defense. How about this bit of D from Wes Helms at third to end the inning? It's 3-0 Rockies here as we head to the bottom of the fifth inning. Coming up next, it's game 2 of our TBS triple header as the Angels take on the Red Sox. And you got the Majors only 20-game winner Josh Beckett up against the ace for the Angels and Lackey, a 19-game winner. Lackey having some trouble with the Red Sox during the regular season.
Angels did not play well at Fenway Park either, so they're going to have to get that turned around pronto.
Well, a big game for both in their first in the 5-game series that begins from Fenway Park in Boston. That's our next game as part of the triple header and our coverage on TBS today. Aaron Rowan starts it here in the bottom of the fifth for the Phillies. Ran it out to shortstop first time up.
He was talking before the game by the batting cage about how this is why you put in so much work in the offseason to try to put yourself in a good position to have a good year and help your team get to the postseason, and you hope there's a payoff at the end. And there was for him in 2005 as a member of the White Sox.
Well, he has enjoyed perhaps his best season as a pro, setting career highs in games, at bats, runs, home runs, RBIs, and he picked a pretty good time for it.
Yeah,
because he is a free agent come the end of this year for the Phillies, and some doubt that he'll be back with the Philadelphia Phillies.
Well, if they choose not to bring him back, he'll have a lot of other suitors.
And one of their most consistent performers. The bad month he had was August. And they made up with it in a big way in September. 7 homers, 16 RBIs. Opposite field. Hop back. Looking up. Gone. Phillies are on the board on a home run from Aaron Rowan.
This could be a very roller coaster emotional team, this Phillies team. And we'll see if this drive to the opposite field gets them going. Up and away. Rowan didn't try to pull it, went with the pitch. A line shot home run the other way.
Rowan's first postseason home run. He did not have one. And a run with the White Sox. 27 of them during the regular season.
A lot of people were talking about how the Phillies might have backed into the postseason because of the collapse of the New York Mets. Not so. And they won 13 out of their last 17 ball games. It's not like they sat around and waited to see what the Mets were going to do.
Pitch in there for a strike to Pat Burrell. Well, Charlie Manuel was quick to point out how important that series head-to-head with the Mets was. They went into that series against the Mets 7 games back, ended up sweeping them in that series, and that was what turned things around and really headed down the stretch run.
They beat the Mets 7 straight.
Pat Burrell to deep left. Holiday back at the wall. Leaps. Phillies have gone back-to-back. Rowan and Burrell, and it's a 1-run game now.
I think the crowd's back in it. This is a Citizens Bank Park home run. A high fly ball that's probably an out in just about every other park in the National League, but not here.
The Phillies had a base hit through the first 4 innings, just one. It was provided by their pitcher Cole Hamels. The only ball hit out of the infield. But they've gone back-to-back here in the last of the 5th. Helms takes ball 1, and for the first time the Phillies are getting to Jeff Francis.
And let's see how that affects him after he got really blitzed here on September 13th.
Francis giving up 25 regular season home runs. He gives him up back-to-back.
And this is a guy, Helms, that's worn him out. Popped up his first time up at 6 for 10 now in his career.
Francis behind. He's not been behind a lot today.
This Phillies crowd has been absolutely wild for the last week.
Swing and a miss, and it's 2-2. The last 2 home runs coming on the 2-1 pitch. He gets Helms to swing through this one.
And both pitches were up. One to Rowan was up and away, up out over the plate to Burrell.
Foul down the right field line, back it out of play.
I know in Boston at Fenway, people talk about no lead being safe because the game can turn around quickly in that ballpark because of the Green Monster. This ballpark very similar. Doesn't matter how many runs you have, you need more.
2-2 to left. Back goes Holiday. Makes the catch as he runs onto the dirt of the warning track for the first out. And that hits sharply but stays in the yard. A visit to the mound for Torrealba. With 1 out here in the 5th inning. Well, check the temperature of his starting pitcher, Jeff Francis.
2 pitches that were up for home runs. That one stayed in the park to Helms, but it looked like another pitch that was up. Threw some top hand on it. Couldn't quite get it elevated enough to get it out of here. Let's check out the location. It was a big, high, arcing breaking ball. But again, check out the location. He's not getting the ball down like he did earlier.
There's Carlos Ruiz. He takes the strike from Francis. Francis able to strike out Ruiz in the 3rd inning. 7 strikeouts for Francis. 1 hopper by the dive of Tulowitzki. Well, the Phillies bats have come alive in the 5th.
This was a changeup. And again, location, part of the problem right now for Jeff Francis. He's not getting the ball down. Went to a different pitch, same results. And hit too hard for Tulowitzki to make a diving stop.
So 1 out, 1 on. And here's Cole Hamels, who threw the first 4, provided the only hit for the Phillies. Now bunting, but he pops it up into the glove of Atkins. Thought about trying to turn it into a double play. As the second baseman Matsui ran to first trying to cover. They do get Hamels, who's unable to move the runner along.
All those little things add up too in the postseason. Don, you gotta execute, especially if you're asked to as a pitcher in the National League to move a runner up. You gotta be able to help yourself.
Little room for error too in this short series. That plays a big part of it also.
And this first game so important to try to get a leg up, especially if you're playing on the road. If you beat the other team's ace on the road for Colorado, that would be a huge advantage.
Jimmy Rollins after the first pitch. He was 0 for 2 in this one. He struck out swinging in the 1st inning. Grounded into the 5-4-3 double play in the 3rd.
Pitch up. Getting under the ball a little bit. Elbow dropping some, and he's pushing the ball up in the zone.
Fouled off. And it's 1-2. Francis, who is very economical in pitches thrown through the first 4 innings, has thrown 20 here in the 5th.
Talked about this series loaded with offense and leaders in offensive categories. How about 2 guys that are odds-on favorites for the MVP, Rollins and Holiday? You got Tulowitzki, who might very well be the Rookie of the Year.
There goes the runner at first. The pitch is up. The throw from Torrealba is up. And not nearly in time as Ruiz able to steal second base.
Everybody a threat to run on this Phillies roster. Even the catcher. The Rockies have had trouble throwing runners out. And coming into this postseason, Torrealba, just 2 of his last 32 base stealers have been caught.
Ruiz was 6 out of 7 during the regular season as far as thefts go. And in scoring position now with his most recent stolen base. The 2-2 to Jimmy Rollins.
I like the move by Manuel too to send him. It was on a 1-2 count. Even if Ruiz gets thrown out, he's got his leadoff man Rollins leading off the next inning. So it gives Rollins a chance to, if they're successful, drive in the tying run. If not, he'll be leading off the next inning and get a fresh count.
Ball 4, Rollins down to first base. The second walk given up by Jeff Francis. And the inning continues for the Phillies. To bring Bob Apodaca to the mound. And pitching coach for the Rockies.
Got to try to get out of this inning with the lead. Crowd is back in it. The 2 home run balls got everybody jacked up here with their white towels. Needs to settle Francis down and perhaps give him a little instruction about maybe getting the ball down, because that's what's hurt him this inning.
Well, if you have to get into the bullpens, both extremely good for the Phillies and the Rockies.
First 4 innings, he only threw 18 pitches out of the strike zone. This inning, he's thrown 10 out of the zone, and a couple of them have been hammered.
Home runs for Aaron Rowand and Pat Burrell back-to-back to begin this bottom of the 5th inning. Changing the complexion of this one very quickly as the Rockies came into the inning with a 3-0 advantage. They've got a 1-run lead now. Runners at first and second for the Phillies, and Shane Victorino the batter.
Both Rollins and Victorino switch hitters, with their on-base percentage right-handed better than left-handed. Rollins on-base percentage 43 points better right-handed. Victorino's 25 points better, and a higher batting average for both from the right side.
There's a strike. And the count 1-1. Victorino, another one of the Phillies who caught the injury bug during the season, and hampered by a calf injury, actually landing him on the DL in July.
Charlie Manuel claimed he was about 90% today.
Victorino, the soft chopper right side. Matsui throws him out at first base, but the damage is done. Aaron Rowand and Pat Burrell going back to back. 3-2 Rockies after 5. Top half of the 6th inning back in Philadelphia as the Phillies come up with 2 back-to-back home runs, and it is 3-2. The Rockies on top as Todd Helton leads it off. We're in the 6th. Helton tripling in the 2nd inning, came around to score the first Rockies run. And that's what got that 3-run 2nd inning started.
Just like Rich Doobie said, he got some of that energy out of his system, and since the bases loaded walk, Hamels has set down 10 in a row.
Hamels been much more economic From a pitching standpoint, last couple of innings, 71 through the first 3. Had a 5-pitch 5th inning. Starts off here 3-0 to Todd Helton. There's a strike, 3-1.
Up to 92 pitches already, though, and that's going to be a concern for Charlie Manuel and Rich Doobie.
Strike 2 as he battles back, full count.
Their bullpen's been very good down the stretch.
Helton strikes out.
What a good pitch. Shook off 2 signs to get that strikeout. He wanted the change up. Fell behind 3-0 and came back and went to his A1 pitch, the change, and it was a beauty.
$11 in a row retired by Cole Hamels, and here's Garrett Atkins. A double in the second inning. He struck out looking in the third. The double knocked in a run. The ground foul outside of third.
It just shows you, though, what can happen even when good pitchers like Hamels and Francis, when they get off their location. Hamels in the second inning was up in the zone. Francis last inning started elevating some pitches, and you can't get away with it with these 2 offensive lineups.
Atkins getting the arms out of the way, and the pitch misses up. Fly ball to center field, sending Rowan back. 2 down. Well, today's pitcher comparison is brought to you by Avis. We try harder. Tomorrow's Game 2 starters, Franklin Morales for the Rockies against Kyle Kendrick for the Phillies. Should be a good one.
Well, it's interesting. Both are rookies and both in a pressure cooker here for the second game. Kendrick, a guy who's called up from Double-A just for a spot start. He never went home. Won 10 ball games. Morales, a guy who has a real bright future for the Rockies and a hard thrower.
It's amazing how your plans can change after one outing. They bring him up and think that's going to be it. He ends up going 10-4 in the season. How about that?
And starting the second game of the postseason for you.
Brad Hopp 0 for 2 in the game. He has struck out swinging and fly to center.
More than likely we'll see 2 rookies in the rotation for the Rockies, along with Morales. Ubaldo Jimenez, hard throwing right-hander.
How much a factor is the sun in the eyes of the right fielder Shane Victorino? And likewise for the Rockies, Brad Hopp moving forward.
It is an issue, and right now both pitcher and batter are in the shadow, but bright sunshine on the batter's eye, which sometimes makes it a little hard to pick the ball up as a hitter.
Just missing, and it's 2-2. Charlie Manuel wanted it. It's been a few.
Dale Scott's been consistent. He has not given too much on the corner. That looked like a good pitch.
Hot, gone, strikes out. 7th strikeout for Cole Hamels. 4 straight perfect innings for Hamels, who's retired 13 in a row. We send it back to Atlanta in the TBS studios. Ernie Johnson.
All right, thank you, Don. It is time for a TBS game break. Ernie Johnson here in Studio J in Atlanta. Got a Hall of Famer and a future Hall of Famer by my side. Let's introduce them to you. Cal Ripken, the Iron Man. And, of course, the Hall of Famer in 2007. And the guy who's going to be in the Hall of Fame, obviously, is Frank Thomas, 94 AL MVP and the batting champ in 97. And, of course, Cal's got more records than we have time to list here. But it is our pleasure to have them here for TBS MLB postseason action. And it's day 1. And guys, you couldn't ask for a much better start to this thing, especially for Jeff Francis of Colorado. Strikes out the first 4 Phillies he faces, Cal.
Well, I mean, not to take anything away from him. He's a great pitcher. Cole Hamels is a great pitcher. But I think the shadows are playing a role here. All those strikeouts, it just seems like, and here's a good look at it right here, that's the worst conditions for a hitter to hit in. You can't really pick up the ball. And I still think that curveball or that changeup is really difficult to gauge in depth. So I think the strikeouts are more indicative of the shadow.
I know you guys have been going back and forth on what conditions are tougher to hit and what's it tougher to hit, a fastball or a breaking ball, Frank?
For me, I think it's tougher with the fastball. When guys can really get up there above 90 miles an hour. But Cal's right now. I think the shadows is definitely playing a part. But, both teams have to hit in this right now. And the Rockies really came out storming. And I think that momentum thing really was in their favor earlier. Yeah. But it looked like the Phillies are coming. And they're a very talented bunch. So we got an interesting finish here coming soon.
Back-to-back dingers by Rowan and Burrell in the 5th inning have tightened this game up. And I think one of the most intriguing images I saw in the first 5.5 innings or so, Shane Victorino with the double ear flap. Jeff Francis looks like he's about 17 years old. Looked like an American Legion game. Let's go back to Philadelphia. Don?
All right, Ernie, thank you very much. And this crowd is fired up. The slow start for the Philadelphia Phillies, but they're back, and the crowd very much back into it too, Joe.
Yeah, and I think that if you say, the Rockies are running out of gas because of their long game Monday, late arrival here yesterday, maybe the adrenaline's worn off, I don't think that's fair to Cole Hamels, because he has settled down and he's pitching the way he's pitched most of the year, and they're getting a taste of what he's really like, not the way he pitched in the 2nd inning.
Well, Jeff Francis in a tough 5th inning, back-to-back home runs by Rowan and Burrell. Ready to deal with Chase Utley to begin things here in the home half of the 6th inning. Utley has struck out twice against Francis. As Francis starts the 6th inning, there is action for the first time. And the Rockies pen, looks like Ryan Spires up in the pen. Utley slaps it foul and finds himself down 0-2.
Had Chase Utley not been hit by a pitch and knocked to the disabled list for a month, as you see Spire loosening up, indeed it is him, Chase Utley might have been the guy vying for MVP honors.
Injured, struck by a pitch. John Lannon. Over this season, he strikes out for the 3rd time today. Strikeout number 8 for Jeff Francis.
You don't have anybody come into Citizens Bank Park and do this to Chase Utley very often. Elevated one there, got him to chase upstairs.
How good has he been against the 3-4 hitters so far for the Phillies, Utley and Howard?
He's really minimalized anything that they can do.
They have combined to go 0 for 5 with 5 strikeouts.
Strikeouts, of course, part of what comes with Ryan Howard with a record-setting total this year of 199. But he hit right at 270. He does walk a lot.
Lines this, fouls out ahead of that one.
And he does that a lot. He hit the ball hard just about anywhere. You can make a good pitch to Ryan Howard. He can get fooled, and especially in this ballpark, he can hit a ball off the end of the bat and hit it out of here to left field.
Howard has trouble against lefties. A .235 career hitter against lefties compared to .318 batting average against righties. He's had 47 hits during the season against lefty and 16 home runs off lefties.
Now again, he'll still take his big cut and swing and miss against left-handers more than right-handers. He's not going to get cheated. Most of the time, especially against left-handers, what will give him problem is a straight changeup. He'll get out on the front foot and just can't keep his hands back.
Well, he struck out Howard twice already today. Off the outside edge, and it's a full count now.
And again, Dale Scott not giving either side benefit of the doubt on that outside part.
Howard out towards right field. Hop moves over into the sunshine to make the catch for the second out of the inning.
Sun might be enough over to the right as the right fielder's looking in, that they're able to block it off on the ball coming from the plate. You see how the shadow's kind of angled this way, so the view looking into home plate, they'll be able to throw their glove up there and maybe block it off their face and track the ball.
2 down here in the 6th inning. Aaron Rowan, the batter. He's the guy that got it started for the Phillies in the 5th. They're trailing 3-0, and he hit a solo shot as he takes strike 1 over the outside corner. I'm talking about Dale Scott's strike zone here today. You got a 26-year-old and a 23-year-old. Do you think that plays in a part at all? These are not two big Grizzly veterans going head-to-head here today.
Yes, I think that does play a part.
And Holiday camped underneath. Makes the catch. It ends the inning.
They've got to prove to him they can hit those spots.
So 3-2. Rockies lead. End of 6. Rockies on top 3-2. Remember to enter People Magazine's Sexiest Fan Alive contest, and you, guy or girl, could be in People Magazine's Sexiest Man Alive issue and win a VIP trip for 2 to a 2008 Major League Baseball World Series game. To enter, go to peoplesexiestfan.com. Ryan Spilborghs leading it off here in the top half of the 7th inning for the Rockies.
I'm going to nominate Marty Aronoff, our statistician.
I was going to nominate you.
No thanks. It's going to look bad when they tally the votes and I've got 1 vote. And everybody thinks that I voted for myself.
Ryan Spilborghs walked in the 2nd inning. He struck out looking in the 4th inning. Rockies trying to steal one here on the road in Philadelphia in Game 1. This National League Division Series, and do it against Cole Hamels, who's retired 13 in a row. And a strike as Spilborghs took a step towards first.
Gave up 3 hits in the 2nd inning. Of course, had 3 walks that factored in there too, but he has not allowed a hit or another base runner in any other inning.
Ball 4 and a leadoff walk for Spilborghs. 2nd time he has walked. It is the 4th walk given up by Hamels. And again, 3 of those coming in that tough 2nd inning.
And he was missing up to him. Usually a telltale sign to the pitching coach that maybe he's running out of gas a little bit. He's at pitch number 108. Phillies bullpen stirring around.
And Cole Hamels, who does have a couple of complete games, 2 of the Phillies' 5 complete games on the season. And now when you've thrown 71 pitches through the first 3 innings. As Yorvit Torrealba takes ball 1. There's action in the Phillies pen. Tom Gordon is up in that pen.
And again, this guy hits into a lot of double plays, but you got to get the ball down to accomplish that. And he missed up with that one. Thought he had strike 1. I may have let that get to him a little bit. Dubie will try to go out and calm him down some. This has been a good ballpark despite the home run possibilities here, but it's been a good park for Cole Hamels. 8-2 here this year, and his batting average against him here at Citizens Bank Park, 7th best in the National League at .228.
Today's line-off technology is brought to you by Travelers Insurance.
And that 9 is indicative of about 9 feet from the bag. That's usually like a 6-foot man. Take another step, gives you a chance to dive back. So anything beyond 9 feet is a pretty good lead for a base runner. I figure with that lead, take 1 crossover step, dive back, you can get back safely.
Today's leadoff line technology brought to you by Travelers Insurance. Today's risk and reward. 2 stolen bases this season as Torrealba down even at 2-2. Talking to Clint Hurdle about Torrealba, a guy that he's had his eye on since he was 18 years of age. And Clint was a roving hitting instructor at the time. Torrealba, it doesn't hurt you in that 8 spot offensively, and really likes the way he's handled the pitching staff from a catching standpoint. Shoots it out to right. Victorino is there to make the catch for the first out.
No trouble for Victorino. Plays shallow in right field. He's a guy that's really a center fielder by trade, and could be that if Rowan is not re-signed here, Victorino could be their center fielder next year.
Jeff Francis will bat with 1 out here in the 7th inning. The starting pitcher for the Rockies. He has thrown 94 pitches through the first 6 innings. And bats for the 3rd time today. Had the sacrifice bunt in the 2nd. Grounded back to the mound in the 4th. And squares and takes strike 1.
Wes Helms charging very hard from third base. Francis hopes to bunt the ball to first base to get the runner over, but if he has a mistake, makes a mistake, Helms is right on top of him.
Right side, and ranging nicely is Utley. Had to wait for Howard to cover. He was charging on the bunt bid. And covers the bag for the out of Francis. Up to second base goes Spilborghs.
And with the defense making it tough on him, Clint Hurdle gave it a hit and run sign. How about this? Chance to get the runners going and give the pitcher a chance to protect him. And now Ryan Howard gets to see what it's like to be a pitcher covering first base. He had to hustle back to the bag and let Utley lead him there.
Well, we're here at Citizens Bank Park in Philadelphia for Game 1 of the National League Division Series. Right here on TBS. Don Orsillo, Joe Simpson, and David Aldridge. And that's the day for Cole Hamels, who will make his way to the dugout and the clubhouse. Phillies fans will let him know what they think of him. He departs trailing by a run. Tom Gordon will be on when we come back to Citizens Bank Park. Back in Philadelphia, where the Rockies have a 3-2 lead in Game 1. We're in the midst of the top of the 7th inning. DHL presents Major League Baseball Delivery Man. And today we focus on Tom Gordon and the Phillies bullpen in September.
He pitched well down the stretch. Charlie Manuel couldn't say enough about his bullpen and what they did for him, especially guys at the end of the ball game like Gordon, J.C. Romero, and Brett Myers. In fact, over his last 15 games of the year, Gordon a 1.32 ERA.
Fans, go to MLB.com to cast your vote for the 2007 DHL presents Major League Baseball Delivery Man of the Year.
Gordon still has good fastball, upper 80s to low 90s, throws a cutter to left-handers, and has always had a real good right over the top 12-6 curveball. He and Myers were on the disabled list at the same time, which really hurt their bullpen earlier in the season. They had a closer by committee while those two guys were out.
He came back, shared some time in the closer duties with another former closer, Antonio Alfonseca. Myers was out, and here's Kaz Matsui with 2 outs in the inning, and Ryan Spielborghs at second base. Rockies scoring all of their runs in the 2nd inning, taking a 3-0 advantage. The Phillies roaring back in the 5th. Back-to-back solo shots. On a strike now to Matsui.
Matsui's a guy left-handed who kind of, especially when he gets behind in the count, kind of runs out of the box and slaps it to put some pressure on the defense.
He's battled back spasms regularly throughout his entire career. Line down the right field line, a foul ball. Back into the seats. And the count evens at 2-2 to Matsui.
He gets out there so fast, it's hard to jam him. He's got quick hands. Normally a guy who gets out on his front foot kind of jams himself because brings his hands with him, but Matsui's hitting and running out of the box, if you will.
Swing and a miss. Gordon comes on to strike out Matsui. They leave Spielborgs in scoring position. It's 3-2 Rockies. 7th inning stretch time from Philadelphia. Back in Philadelphia, where the Rockies have a 3-2 lead over the Phillies. It's time now for the Baby Ruth 7th inning stretch game summary. Well, a fast start for the Rockies, who scored 3 times in the 2nd inning. It was all about the 2nd inning. Hamels 40 pitches in that inning. And for the Phillies, it's all about the 5th. They're back-to-back home runs.
Yeah, and maybe Aaron Rowan was right. As much offense as we expect in this series, at least today and maybe tomorrow too, with another 3 o'clock start. Maybe the Shadows will be the winner, because only 5 runs and 7 hits total in this ball game, when I expected there to be some 8-7 and 9-7 ball games perhaps played in this series. Both pitchers 1 bad inning each.
And it is the day for Cole Hamels, who went 6 2/3 before giving way to Tom Gordon. 3 hits, 3 runs, 4 walks, 7 Ks. He's on the hook as he departs. This Philly crowd has been loud all day long, especially in the 5th, when Rowand and Burrell went back-to-back. Here is Pat Burrell to lead it off in the bottom of the 7th inning, and now Glenn Hurdle is making his way out. Apparently his reliever was not ready at the time that he sent out Francis to warm up, and now he is. So he'll go out and take the baseball from him. The pitching change will be coming here from Citizens Bank Park in Philadelphia. Ever see someone who does impressions and think, wow, that's even better than the real thing? Well, TBS has just that guy. His name is Frank Caliendo. Don't miss the all-new TBS late night comedy, Frank TV, coming up November 20th to TBS. Let's set it down to David Aldridge.
Well, guys, this has been an amazing last 48 hours for this Colorado Rockies team. After Hey Julio gave up that home run in the 13th inning, in the top of the 13th inning, to put San Diego up 8-6. Even Todd Helton thought, hey, these odds are pretty long. We know Trevor Hoffman's coming in, the game's all-time leading closer. We're going to try, but we don't know if we're going to be successful. Matt Holliday said the way they came back is kind of fitting. It's kind of indicative of how this team has never given up the last couple of weeks, when they've had some very strange things happen to them. For them to win that game and to get here, kind of indicative, guys, of how their last month of the season went.
Well, amazing that they were able to do it against Trevor Hoffman. I mean, you get down those 2 runs, you figure here we are, maybe we've come to the end of the run. But, you know, it took some of those come-from-behind victories late in games, into the 13 out of 14 before they got to the 14th out of 15 to get that thing done, even against Trevor Hoffman.
Yeah, I was just wondering about Hoffman, though. He got up about 3 times before he actually came in the ball game, when the Padres were threatening late, and you wonder if that may have taken a little something out of him before he actually got in the game in the 13th. LaTroy Hawkins pitched in the game on Monday, gave up a hit, but no runs.
His 5th major league team. Pat Burrell leading it off, pops it up left side. Atkins, little back pedal, but he makes the grab for the first out of the inning.
Hawkins, a hard thrower with a slider, but it's all about control for him. If he comes in throwing strikes, he can be dynamite, but oftentimes he's pitching behind in the count and then gets hurt with a fastball.
Greg Dobbs is going to pinch hit for Wes Helms, who started the game at 3rd base. Helms had been 0 for 2.
Dobbs outstanding all year long off the bench for Charlie Manuel. Eventually played himself into some regular playing time at 3rd base. 18 RBIs as a pinch hitter this year. Good low ball hitter, good fastball hitter.
That's with 1 down, bases empty, last half of the 7th inning with the Phillies trailing by a run. Jeff Francis, the starter today for the Rockies, who struck out the first 4 Phillies he faced, ended up going 6, 4 hits, 2 runs, walked 2, and struck out 8 batters. After 17 regular season victories, trying to get his first postseason victory. And some help from the pen with the Rockies on top by a run.
Good work, though. 8 strikeouts, 6 innings, and 10 was his season high.
Dobbs fouls it off, and it's a ball and a strike.
Hawkins gives you a good look at the baseball. When he's in his delivery, he takes the ball out of his glove early, has it back behind his head a little bit. You see right where it's going to come from. No real deception, just here it is. This fastball can be straight.
Well, it's hitting at 200 against Hawkins in his last 27 appearances. Spent time in the DL early in the season, starting the season on the DL with right elbow inflammation. Dobbs grounds it foul outside of first, and the count evens at 2-2.
Hawkins has had opportunities to close before, especially in Chicago when they signed him after Troy had been in Minnesota, but it just didn't work out for him, and his best role has seemed to be as a setup guy like he's working today.
Used as a closer back in 2001 with the Twins, saving 28 games, and 25 games with the Cubs in 04. Dobbs sends it foul, this time off to the left, and it's 2-2.
So far so good though for Hawkins. Again, it's all about command for him and not pitching behind in the count.
Greg Dobbs, who had been claimed off waivers from the Seattle Mariners, played such a big part of this Phillies team this season. Ball 3, and it's a full count. 95 from LaTroy Hawkins, been missing.
No, nothing wrong with the velocity. And I'm sure he will just challenge Dobbs here with another 95, hoping to throw it for a strike.
Fouled it off. Phillies fans do not need anything more to get fired up about, but the Fanatic trying to do his best.
Yeah, he is. Trying to put the whammy on him.
8th pitch of the at-bat coming up for Greg Dobbs. Pinch hitting here in the 7th. And another foul ball. The at-bat will continue, and the fastballs continue from LaTroy Hawkins.
And as I said, Dobbs is a good fastball hitter. He just can't catch up with this mid-90s heat. He's been a tough out all year long for the Phillies, whether pinch hitting or in there for 4 at-bats. He was a real good pickup.
Again, the payoff pitch. Walks him.
Took something off. He didn't stay with his fastball. He went to another pitch, took a little off, like a batting practice fastball, about 86. May have been, I guess, his equivalent to a changeup. Ball 4.
9th pitch of the at-bat. Dobbs able to work the walk. He'll be pinch run for.
Michael Bourne, a guy who may be one of the fastest players in the National League and certainly a threat to steal. 18 for 19 in stolen bases. The Phillies this year, a great percentage, success percentage in stolen bases. 138 stolen bases. They were only caught 19 times as a team. 88% success rate.
Charlie Manuel was quick to point out the help of Davey Lopes in that regard, as Pitch in there for a strike, and the great work that he has done.
He's always been a master at studying pitchers and their moves, not only to first but to home plate. An outstanding help for the base runners. He always had a high stolen base percentage himself.
557 thefts in his career. This one foul to the screen. Carlos Ruiz has struck out looking and singled. Stole a base of his own in the 5th inning, but was left at second base.
Not a good pitch to run on here, 0-2 with 1 out, because they may waste a pitch, might even pitch out. Pretty good lead over there for Bourne. But I think he can get a bigger one. He suffered an injury the same day that Victorino was hurt with a strained calf muscle. Bourne injured an ankle on the mound at Wrigley Field chasing a foul fly ball.
Here's Tad Iguchi, who's come out on deck.
Pretty obvious that Ruiz, with these last couple of swings, has not really been on trying to pull the ball. Atkins is playing him near the line to try to prevent an extra base hit down the left field line, but he's kind of taking an inside out approach when he's behind in the count.
Warren gains his lead at first, held on by Helton. A couple of steps, didn't go, and the pitch misses.
Hawkins not really employing a slide step to try to prevent Bourne from going. Not all that quick to the plate. We're going here.
The pitch out. Rockies thought so, but he doesn't go.
Almost threw it away.
Three to two, the Rockies on top. Phillies have the tying run at first base, and Bourne
just got a tip from Davey Lopes too. Don, let's see if he extends his lead a little more than he was. Maybe, yeah. Oh yeah, a half step at least.
Ruiz with a one-hopper to Matsui, to second for one, on to first, a double play that ends the 7th inning. We played 7 from Philly. Rockies still on top 3-2. This National League Division Series on TBS is presented by Budweiser, the official beer of Major League Baseball. A beautiful day in Philadelphia, and the second largest crowd in Philadelphia here at Citizens Bank Park, 45,655. As we head to the top half of the 8th, and it's Troy Tulowitzki who leads it off against Tom Gordon. And look at that 45,655 on hand here this afternoon.
Just a hop, skip, and a jump from Philadelphia Airport. Beautiful day, though. A little overcast at the start of the day, but it burned off and got a little steamy dead on the field during batting practice, but now the field almost completely covered in shadows. Victorino still having to deal with it out in right field.
He's the last guy.
Yeah.
Tulowitzki. A swing and a miss.
Stay with fastballs a lot on him today. Got him to chase one there. He tied him up with a fastball earlier in the count. Look at the target. Ruiz wanted it up. Wasn't quite where he wanted it, but it worked. And Tulowitzki laid on it.
9 strikeouts for Phillies pitching today. 7 for Cole Hamels. Tom Gordon has struck out both batters he's faced. Matsui to end the 7th. And Tulowitzki, as Holiday puts a charge into this one out towards deep left center field, and that ball is gone. Matt Holiday, who had 36 home runs during the season, has homered to give the Rockies a 2-run advantage. An insurance run here in the 8th. They move on top 4-2.
Well, the only reason it was a 1-run game until just a moment ago was because Holliday's drive with the bases loaded just went foul back in the 2nd inning. Curveball hanger that stayed up. And boy, did he put a charge in that one. That's a home run in any ballpark. That's going to do it for Gordon.
Well, the Philly fans throwing it back onto the field. Well, a 4-2 Rockies advantage. That's the day for Tom Gordon. Imagine a bunch of celebrities commenting on all the crazy stuff going on. Now imagine all those celebrities played by one guy. You know, you love him as the guy who impersonates John Madden. Frank TV, starring Frank Caliendo, coming November 20th to TBS. Well, Tom Gordon is gone after facing 3 batters. Surrenders the home run that gives the Rockies a 2-run pad, and J.C. Romero's in for the Phils.
This guy has been spectacular since they picked him up after he'd been released by the Red Sox. A 130 average against him. And check this out. Over his last 23 appearances, hitters combined, lefty and righty, are 4 for 57 against him. Lefties 4 for 37 and just 1 hit in their last 19 at bats. He has good fastball, good action on it, and a good slider that he works to the left-handers, and I'm sure that's what he'll try to use on Helton early on in the count. Todd Helton with a batting title under his belt. A guy who is tough to defend because he hits the ball all over the ballpark and hits all over the ballpark with authority. Got to play him straight away.
The Rockies getting their first hit since the 2nd inning here in the 8th, and it was a big one. Matt Holliday homering to put the Rockies on top 4-2. Todd Helton now bats. Takes ball 1 from J.C. Romero. Helton with a triple in the 2nd. Sensena's fly to center and struck out swinging.
That's what got the 2nd inning started.
In on the hands and popped up short left. Rollins headed out. And he'll make the catch in front of Pat Burrell for the 2nd out of the inning.
Rockies have 4 hits today. A single, a double, a triple, and a home run. You can see the damage done by the dirt around home plate at Coors Field on Monday night to Holliday's chin. He also has some scratch marks on his hand and forearm where he got stepped on when Michael Barrett blocked him off the plate.
Feels a little better when you're able to come away with the victory and move on as they did. You had a feeling, though, after he went up chin first, that the next day was going to be a little rough, too.
That's why they teach you not to go in head first at home plate.
Two down in the inning. Garrett Atkins 1 for 3. He doubled back in that 2nd inning. J.C. Romero, who had been designated for assignment by the Red Sox earlier this season, released on June the 18th, starting the year with Boston. And spent 7 seasons as a member of the Minnesota Twins. The deep short. Rollins dives, gets up quickly, and the throw is in time. Jimmy Rollins.
Outstanding effort here, and a long throw to make. He doesn't have the strongest arm in the league, but boy, right on the money.
Back in Philadelphia with the Rockies on top 4-2 in this game 1 of the NLDS. New pitcher on for the last half of the 8th inning. It is Brian Fuentes.
He was their closer, lost the job to Manny Corpus, but he is very good in his own right. Fastball in the high 80s, low 90s. They'll run the fastball away to right-handers. Doesn't like to throw his breaking ball to right-handers. Got a good change-up that looks a little bit like a curveball.
Hideo Iguchi will lead it off here in the bottom of the 8th.
What a pickup he was after Utley got hurt. Great acquisition by Pat Gillick.
Noguchi taking strike one. He was hit at 250 as a pinch hitter this season with a home run. Overall 267, 9 homers and 43 runs batted in. Was also a member of the 2005 world champion Chicago White Sox along with Aaron Rowan.
Now, when they lost Utley, everybody was concerned about what it would do to their lineup. This guy came in, not only played great defense, but was contributing offensively too. They hardly missed a beat.
30 starts for the Phillies, did not commit an error. 67 straight games overall without an error. Did he go? They'll check. Yes, he did, says Jim Reynolds.
I think Iguchi hurt himself a little bit there with the flailing bat when he was trying to stop it and bring it back. Kind of taking the top hand off the bat. Looked like he did go.
And Brian Fuentes suffered the blown save in Monday's win after the ball misplayed in left by Holiday at the time, which tied the game. Now just 3 runs over his last 20 games. Dropped that ERA to 3.08.
Well, if he can reach and lead off, you're getting to the part of their order, top of the order, especially now that they're trailing by 2. You can bring the timer onto the plate and really put some pressure on Fuentes to make good pitches. Not too many teams leadoff men hit 30 homers like Rollins did.
Did he go? Not this time, and it's ball 4.
Manager's nightmare. A leadoff walk late in the ball game in a close game, and absolutely did not go there.
Lead runner on for the Phillies. Back up top now for Jimmy Rollins. This top of the order has had a very difficult time today. 1 through 4 in the Phillies lineup collectively 0 for 11. Only 1 ball out of the infield.
Getting a little coaching from Torey Alba, who was pointing to his front shoulder as if to tell Fuentes that you're flying open and dragging your arm out there and leaving it outside.
Those types of things, the qualities that Clint Hurdle likes so much in his catcher, and your Torey Alba.
Something only a veteran catcher can help with too. Take charge like that.
Strike this time over the outside corner as Rollins looking back at Dale Scott.
Well, he definitely kept his shoulder tucked that time, did Fuentes. And a pitch that's been borderline all day and not called a strike too often. He got the benefit of the doubt there.
Staying outside with Rollins and missing.
Rollins has got to be patient. Try not to do too much, having gone 0 for 2 with a walk.
He has been patient and finds himself in the hitter's count.
Todd Helton, another veteran on this young ball club, comes in to encourage Fuentes, who really kind of blew him off.
Rollins pops it up after the 3-1 pitch, and Tulowitzki makes the catch for the out. And the first one here in the 8th, unable to move the runner along.
Let's check out the location of this pitch and see if Jimmy did try to do too much with a 3-1 count here. Outside part of the plate. Looked like he was trying to pull the ball, and as a result got under it, tried to lift it.
One down here in the 8th, and it brings up Shane Victorino.
Get that count in your favor like that, you've got to look for the ball where you want it in that certain spot. If it's not there, get a chance to go again 3-2.
Fuentes able to get the out. And Victorino taking the strike. That's where Fuentes has lived for the most part.
I don't know if it's something Charlie Manuel wants to do down by 2, but the way Fuentes is pitching, opportunities to hit and run. Foul tip got a piece of Torrealba. Got his hand protected, but then he brings it out from behind the protection, and it looked like it got his knee, but maybe it ricocheted off the knee and then hit him in the hand. Oh, 0-2 now to Victorino. He's got to guard the plate. Most everything from Fuentes has been middle of the plate away.
On the ground at Tulowitzki to second for 1, on to first, not in time. Not hit hard enough for them to be able to turn it. They do get the lead runner Noguchi, and there's 2 down.
Victorino so hard to double up under any circumstances, even on what appeared to be a tailor-made double play ball right at Tulowitzki, but fast runner aboard. Left-handed hitter up there. You got Howard on deck. Chance for another opportunity to steal if Charlie Manuel wants to try it because of that fast runner.
Well, Chase Utley is glad to see Jeff Francis gone from the game. In 3 at-bats against him, he saw only 9 pitches and struck out 3 times. It's strike 1 from Fuentes.
And as bad a day as he's had, this guy's got so much pop in his bat. One swing can tie it. That may be more what Charlie Manuel's thinking. I've got the tying run at the plate. Don't want to run the risk of running out of the inning. Let's see how they play it.
First to check on Victorino is easily back to the bag.
These two teams don't see each other very much during the course of the season. They played 7 games against one another. Not a lot of at-bats against Fuentes for anybody.
In the dirt, nicely picked on a hop by Torrealba.
Play a team 7 times doesn't mean you're going to see the closer every time. Back when Fuentes was closing, for example, Utley only 0 for 2 against him in his career. Howard on deck 0 for 2. That's an advantage for Fuentes.
Into the National League All-Star team for the 3rd straight season. Pulled Utley in. It's 1-2.
Ruiz was running with Rollins at the plate back in the 5th inning. Odd that the only stolen base today for Philadelphia is from the catcher. Let's see what Victorino does here. 1-2 with Utley at the plate.
Strike 3 call. Fuentes able to strike him out. Utley strikes out for the 4th time today. We played 8, and it's the Rockies in this game 1 from Philadelphia to enjoy the 4-2 lead. Back in Philadelphia, where the Rockies enjoy a 4-2 lead, it's on to the 9th inning, and the Phillies going to their closer, Brett Myers, trying to keep the deficit where it is right now, 2 runs.
Hard thrower, low 90s. Just saw his curveball. That's his number 2 pitch, and a good one. Highly strung, big emotions. He loves the closer's role.
A chance to show some of those emotions on the mound, striking out Willie Mo Pena. The Nationals to sew up the Eastern Division Championship in a role that has seemed to be pretty kind to Brett Myers. It is Hop who leads it off here in the 9th inning.
It's not often that your opening day starter turns into your closer. Phillies moved him to the bullpen after some struggles early in the year, which was kind of odd because they were struggling with their rotation, losing Freddie Garcia, John Lieber to injuries.
Takes care of Brad Hopp quickly for the first out of the ninth.
Started him with the curve, finished him with the curve. That outside corner being called a little more than it was early in the game.
One down for Ryan Spilborghs. He was walked twice and struck out. After the first pitch, sending it foul down the right field line back into the seats.
Myers likes this role. He grew up boxing as a kid. He's certainly combative enough for this role. Likes the pressure. Likes to be the guy finishing games.
In his first relief appearance of the season on April 18th. And he got his first save of the year. And the first save of his career May 3rd. 21 saves and 24 opportunities, a 2.87 ERA in 48 games as a reliever. Throwing strikes. Struck out the first two Rockies in the ninth.
Sorry, Diaz, another good hook. When he first was moved to the bullpen, I really thought it was a mistake because of their lack of depth in their starting rotation. And I thought, boy, combined with Cole Hamels, what a great 1-2 punch, left-handed, right-handed. Well, he's done a good job in the closer's role and likes it there. But I still liked him as a frontline guy in the rotation.
Two down for Yorvit Torrealba, who takes ball one. There's another Philly who suffered a pretty serious injury this season. Left the game May 23rd with a strained right shoulder. Placed in the DL and did not return until July the 27th. In his absence, Gordon and Alfonseca share the closer's duty in his absence.
Yeah, they've got veterans down there. They've got Alfonseca, who's closed, Jose Mesa, who's closed, and of course Flash Gordon. But it's Myers who finishes the games for him. He got his hook working today.
Jumps ahead 1-2 as Myers has struck out Hopp, Spilborghs. The Phillies fans preparing for Torrealba.
One of the things about today, though, Don, is that it's not a save situation. Maybe he's not quite as amped up as he would be if this crowd were going crazy in the ninth inning with the game on the line. You'd see a little different Brett Myers.
Grounded softly. Nunez was deep at third. On the run, the throw one hopped, and Howard can't pick it. Torrealba will reach. And the infield hit.
Nunez very deep, had a long way to go and didn't get anything on this throw. Tough one to handle for Ryan Howard.
Ruled a hit, and it is now 5 hits for the Rockies. Corey Sullivan pinch hits.
That infield hit and the home run by Holiday, the only hits the Rockies have had today outside of the second inning.
Sullivan at .286, couple of home runs, 14 runs batted in. On a strike now to Sullivan.
I'll say this for the Rockies too. There's been no carryover from any kind of hangover from the victory Monday night in terms of any letdown. They've played a good solid game.
To center field, Rowan coming in, but that's going to drop in front of him. Able to keep it in front of him as it knocks off the body. And Sullivan, who had finished the season 0 for his last 11, has got a pinch hit single here, and the Rockies have something going with 2 down in the inning.
They cannot afford to give up any more runs. Down 2 have Howard, Rowan, and Burrell due up in the ninth.
2 down. It's 1st and 2nd. And Kaz Matsui settles himself in. Brad Hop, Ryan Spielborg striking out to begin the inning. Both Hop and Spielborg's going down looking, but an infield hit, a single to center, and all of a sudden it's 1st and 2nd, 2 down.
And Myers has fallen behind. And that good curveball working earlier.
A strike, and it's 1-1. Rockies get their closer ready. Manny Corpus up in the pen. Right now trying to add on to this 4-2 advantage. There's Corpus.
The ability of the Rockies pitching staff to handle the top 4 guys in the order like you were talking about, Don, the difference in this ball game really. It began with Francis striking out the side in the 1st inning, kind of set the tone.
We're 0 for 14 as a group, 1 through 4. With 8 strikeouts, of course 4 of them belong to Chase Utley, who's had a tough day. 2-2. Up and away and a full count now. Torrealba at second base, Sullivan at first base.
Would he dare throw that curveball here, 3-2, rather than come to the white part of the plate with a fastball for fear of walking him? It's been a good hook so far.
There it is again, and it's strike 3. Ends up striking out the side. We head to the last of the 9th inning from Philadelphia. The Rockies on top 4-2. Four to 2, Rockies on top of the Phillies. Our first game of postseason here on TBS, and it's been a good one, as the Phillies have got 4, 5, and 6 coming up in the bottom of the 9th inning, and they've got to do it against the Rockies closer, Manny Corpus.
He's a guy that Hurdle moved into this spot without a whole lot of support from anybody else. Clint just liked his makeup, liked how he approached things, moved him into the closer's role and left him there. Last year in the minor leagues had an ERA combined to AA and AAA of 0.99. He's got a 92 to 95 mile an hour hard sinking fastball, good slider, and he'll throw the backdoor slider to left-handed hitters.
He converted his first 16 save opportunities, finishing the year with 19. Ryan Howard 0 for 3 in the game. And sends it foul off to the left. It's Howard, Rowan, and Burrell expected in the 9th. Corey Sullivan is part of the double switch in center field now.
Corpus just 24 years old. He signed as a 16-year-old out of Panama with the Rockies. Pitched a perfect 9th inning Monday.
A strike, and Howard finds himself down 0-2. Strike 3 call.
Slider to the inside part. Frustration.
Howard has words there for Dale Scott. Can't believe it. He's out number 1 of the 9th.
And I really don't blame him. It looked like it didn't have the plate and was breaking inside as it was tracking in there.
Well, the Phillies look back on today and wonder what happened from an offensive standpoint. The 3-4 guys, Utley and Howard, 7 strikeouts and 8 at-bats. Ryan Howard is out number 1 of the 9th. And Rowan got the Phillies going in the 5th with his solo shot.
This is not a two-man team, the Phillies, in terms of their offense. Yeah, they rely on Utley and Howard a lot in their spots in the batting order. But they will struggle to win this series if those two guys struggle for the next few days against Colorado. They've got to have Utley and Howard helping out.
to second. Tough hop, but Matsui plays it, and there's 2 quick outs in the 9th. The Rockies are 1 out away from coming in here to this hostile atmosphere at Citizens Bank Park and stealing the first game of this series.
And again, the veteran Torrealba coming out, giving some words of advice to Corpus. And Corpus gave him a sign, like with the glove down, his hands down, like, yeah, I'm okay.
45,655 strong at Citizens Bank Park. Matt Burrell has been on twice today. Walk, the home run in the 5th, popped out last time up.
Outside of the 5th inning, in which the Phillies got their runs and had 3 hits, the only other hit today, Cole Hamels.
A strike on the outside corner, and it's a ball and a strike now to Pat Burrell.
Slow, easy slider there, just kind of batting practice throwing that one in there. Again, Burrell will chase sliders away.
Another strike, and it's 1-2. Corpus throws strikes, does not walk a lot of people. In fact, faced 55 batters without issuing a walk in between free passes.
The movement on that pitch too. Good hard sinker and slider.
Rockies trying to get their 2nd postseason win ever. Just off the outside edge.
Clint Hurdle said he had a meeting with his team today talking about how they won the opportunity to advance in the postseason. He said, but fellas, we didn't come here to 2-putt. We came here to play, and let's not rest on our laurels, just be happy to be here. Let's come in here to win.
Burrell pops it up foul, back it out of play. Corpus operating at 94 miles per hour that time.
What a huge run that was in the 8th for the Rockies on the solo homer by Holiday. Forces the Phillies to get at least 1 base runner on.
Jason Worth has come out on deck, but it may not matter. There's the 2-2 to Pat Burrell. Burrell lifts it foul off to the left. And the bat continues. Corpus struck out Howard looking. Rowan grounds out. 2 down in the 9th. This Rockies team's won 14 of the last 15 games. Burrell chops it foul.
And their bullpens come in now in relief of Francis, and thrown 2 2/3 innings of scoreless, hitless baseball. Hawkins, Fuentes, and now Corpus. Jorge Julio, the man who gave up the damage in the 13th to the Padres on Monday, is not on the postseason roster. Rally visor.
Rockies pitching with 10 strikeouts in the contest. Corpus ready again, the 2-2. In the air to right center field. Over is Sullivan. And the Rockies take game 1 of the series. Colorado comes in and gets their 2nd postseason win in franchise history. First one back in '95 at Atlanta. They come into Philadelphia and take game 1 of this series.
Fantastic job by the Rockies pitching staff to hold this offense down, and they just stole one on the road against the ace of the Phillies staff.
Riley Corpus able to finish it off. Well, now certainly the pressure shifts to the Phillies tomorrow, and how important is tomorrow for the Phillies in a short series.
And they're running a rookie out there, Kyle Kendrick, a guy that they relied on heavily in the 2nd half of the season. Sinker slider guy. and he's got to be sharp with his control to try to get ahead in the count and get ground ball outs. But more importantly, top of the order for the Phillies have got to get the job done.
Sometimes it depends how you're going at the end of the season, and Clint Hurdle's squad has won 15 of the last 16 games. They're going all right, as the Rockies have taken game 1 of this series.
Jeff Francis came in here and set the tone right away, striking out the side in the first, and let everybody know that the Rockies were here for a reason.
Well, a very impressive outing today for Jeff Francis.
Anybody else you want to go to?
Send it down to David Aldridge. David?
Well, I must tell you, Jeff Francis, you said you weren't going to be nervous or you're going to try to take care of that heart rate. You look pretty cool out there in your first postseason start.
Well, I don't think I said I wasn't going to be nervous. I said I was going to try and handle it as well as I could. You know, there's no question there was a lot of energy, and you know, you try and find ways to slow yourself down a little bit.
What was the game plan that you and Bob Apodaca came up with to shut down Philadelphia's top 4? They're 0 for 12 with a bunch of strikeouts.
I don't know, really just execute the pitches I wanted to do. You know, things I do, just, you know, going with fastballs down and away and mixing up speeds. And, you know, that's what I've done all year, and you just try to execute those things today.
Obviously, the shadows played a part in this game. How did you use that to your advantage?
There's no way I can use it. They're just there. There's no way you can change them. But unfortunately, it didn't affect us as much as them, maybe.
Well, congratulations. You got the win on the road. Keep that hot streak going.
Thank you.
All right, back up to you.
All right, David, thank you very much. Here's the remainder of the schedule in the series. We'll be right back with you. Same time, same place tomorrow. Our coverage begins at 2:30 from Citizens Bank Park. And it is game 2 of the series before it shifts to Colorado for game 3 on Saturday. And the Rockies come in here and take this one a final again of 4-2. Today's Chevrolet player of the game is Jeff Francis.
An outstanding effort by Jeff. 6 strong innings, 2 runs, only coming on 2 solo homers. Walked 2, struck out 8. And these Colorado Rockies have let it be known throughout baseball that they are not a fluke getting into the postseason.
In recognition of his outstanding play, Chevy will donate $1,000 to Major League Baseball's youth baseball charity, Chevy, an American Revolution. Our final score again, 4-2. Coming up next, it's game 1 between the Angels and Red Sox from Boston. For Joe Simpson, David Aldridge, and the rest of the crew, I'm Don Orsillo saying good evening from Philadelphia. TBS is your exclusive home for the entire Division Series and the National League Championship Series. Now let's send it to Ernie Johnson in our Atlanta studios.